Hello and welcome back to another weekly episode review here with the Potential Podcast. We're continuing our reviews with WandaVision, the Marvel show that is on Disney Plus. We just had episode 8 titled Previously On. So this is the second to last episode, the penultimate episode, as they would say. And if you watched our review for episode 7, we were happy about some things. Overall, we were left a little underwhelmed. I think we can both say that episode 8 has been the best episode of the season thus far and really stepped it up a notch.
Yes.
This is definitely this is the Marvel quality that I think we've been waiting for this entire season.
Well, as the title of the episode suggests, Previously On, it's given us a lot of the backstory of our characters, particularly Agnes, aka Agatha Harkness, who is a big part of the comics, a big part of Scarlet Witch's story. And up until this point, she has not been called the Scarlet Witch until later. We'll talk about that in a second. Yep. But this one is great because it talks a little bit about Agatha and how she came to be. And of course, we see a little bit of, or a lot of the backstory of Wanda, of what we thought we knew. We actually did not know the whole story. So we get to this nice, great scene of young Wanda with her family right before, unfortunately, they are blown away and they're killed. And then her and her brother survive miraculously from this bomb that does not go off. But what we're realizing now, yes, as they stock industries, as what we see now, that Wanda apparently had powers all along. Mm-hmm. And that's what Agatha is leading to, that when she does come in contact with Loki's staff, aka the Mind Stone, that just enhanced what was already there. Which, if I don't know, I know Chris, you maybe, I don't know if you've seen these, but did you ever watch Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I did not get into that.
Not to ruin it for you, there's a little talk about, and that connects with the comics of the Inhumans, where in the story there's thing where mutants have already are predisposed to a gene or that they have power, and then when another element comes into play, and it kind of really brings out what's dormant there. Mm-hmm. So this is what we see. So it doesn't really change the story of Wanda. She still had her powers. She still was impacted by the Mind Stone, but it does lead me to question, though, Pietro. Did he have powers before, or was he still, because they're blood related, how did he get really his powers to become Quicksilver? So, but it all leads up to this great ending of an episode. And
whoa! Let's slow down, Taylor. You're rushing through so much.
I'm not Russian. I'm actually Irish and Polish. But anyway, I was saying.
Oh God, here we go, folks. The humor. I actually want to go back to the beginning. We'll go slow. This is going to be a longer episode, folks. Again, there's a lot to talk about. Going back to Agatha, I thought it was a neat opening to, first off, show, we've not really had witches really involved so much in the Marvel Universe so far. Apart from what we know as Scarlet Witch, although we've never called her Scarlet Witch to this point. Mm-hmm. So this was kind of neat to see, like a Salem scene set in like 1693, and clearly all the witches having more of like probably what I would consider some kind of good magic, a blue magic, and Agatha being the outcast, the dark one. She has purple magic. And the thing that was neat is it showcased that she can suck out people's power to the point of killing them. That's an important thing to remember, because I think they really enhanced that scene to showcase that Agatha clearly wants to know what is, the power that Wanda has, so that she can steal it, become a more powerful witch. Which is interesting because you did bring up a good point. Agatha in the comics is not really a villain per se. She's more of a mentor character for Wanda. But in this show, they've kind of played her as, like, especially from that goofy reveal we had with the who's been ruining everything. We had that,
which is taken, Spotify and YouTube by storm.
Yeah, I love that they're releasing the music each episode per week to kind of give you, a little take on the music. But they're really letting Catherine Hahn ham up the kind of like almost like Bond villain type of like, yes, I'm here too kind of situation. So I'm wondering where it's going to play into the last episode. But this was a really cool way to kind of do all these backstories. And like, for example, I love that image of when it was time to go into Hydra, and it was like the door had the Hydra symbol, and it was like, all right, we're going into the Hydra land. But it doesn't bring up a good point.
Hydraland, a
You
new park
know,
coming out.
I would love to go to Hydra land. It's
Yes,
just
it
a
would
lot of
be good.
whispering,
Yeah.
a lot of whispering in your ear, and a lot of destruction. But it brings up a good point. One, yes, she must have had powers all along, which is really neat. And we've not been allowed to talk about mutants. I think, what do they call them? Experimentals, I think, is what they were referred to, or enhanced, right? Because I remember when Captain America's like, we got enhanced on the field, and then Quicksilver's doing his thing.
Yeah.
Was he getting his powers from the Mind Stone? Was she just always going to be this character? And then it still makes you question, who is Evan Peters' version of Pietro? Because this town being all these actors, and is Agatha able to control a human to run at the speed Quicksilver can, with all these backstories? Or is this, again, we've been kind of waiting to see about the multiverse. This might play into what we hope, in the final episode, we'll get some Doctor Strange time. But I liked that it answered a lot of things, but it still left a lot of questions open. I did also love, though, I guess her watching all these sitcoms as a kid with her family, it totally now makes sense of the sitcoms that they chose for the episodes. Like, we kind of been saying, like, oh, they kind of skipped some of that stuff. No, it was all on purpose. And now that was one of those kind of like, oh, my mind. Like, that's why I love Marvel, and they do these kind of like, they take their time.
Yeah, and they have such a great, and I really love the scene where this is right after she kind of joined the Avengers, right after Pietro dies, and in Age of Ultron, and she's with Vision, and he's pretty much literally just been born, and they have their first kind of like sit down together, and it was such a great scene. Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen, I really just love this is one of those great scenes of their chemistry, and I love that moment. It was really, it showed the levity, and also was a great reveal that we thought, we see the flashback of when she got to Vision, we were led to believe that she stole his body, and she's been going on this rampage, and she's been made out to be the villain by Hayes. But clearly that is not the case, as they were going to use his body for some other nefarious things, which is pretty interesting.
Yes. And the thing is, we've been, I think a lot of people have been contemplating, how was this hex formed? We kind of this entire time have been thinking there must have been some kind of deal situation with, a lot of people have been theorizing about Mephisto, or maybe it was Agatha, things. No, we got this really touching, sad moment where Wanda goes up to this plot of land that was the house that Vision had bought the plot for, to be like, for us to grow old together.
Vision envisioned for them.
Yeah, and it's kind of cute that the heart symbol now makes sense about the heart on the calendar in the first episode. Which feels not only long ago, feels like a completely different show thinking about it now.
Yeah.
But Wanda has this moment of just complete grief, and she explodes with her energetic power that she has, and he just forms the hex, and she transforms the entire place into her sitcom land, and she creates Vision. So Vision is not some other, it's not the body parts that we theorized.
Yeah, she used her powers to necromance or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it leads me to some questions, though. Still, I'm wondering, so he's a construct of her powers. What's the deal with the kids? Because I'm still wondering, are they, if they went outside the hex, did they disappear? So there's like, because he wasn't really real to begin with. Are they even real?
True. The biology still doesn't add up. I mean, even thinking in the beginning, let's not to get too far into this kind of situation, but
we can get
Vision's a body of robot parts, so he doesn't have the necessary things to procreate per se. But anyway, it does. Yeah, the twins were not there the entire episode. We heard them kind of crying in the back, so at least Agatha hasn't killed them, so we think.
No,
but it was just neat how they kind of really showcased this episode for Wanda. We didn't really have much, like we didn't have anything with Miranda and all the people outside, minus that just flashback scene at Sword. But it really was about her journey from, kind of her childhood and up until where we are now. And then it was kind of fun to have this, like, it kind of felt like it was Agatha fully realized, is kind of the vibe I got.
Yeah,
Catherine Hahn
she had
in
Hocus
her,
Pocus Ursula
yeah,
vibes going on there.
oh
Like,
yeah,
come on, poor
it had,
unfortunate
and I love that
souls.
she had this kind of like dark magic, kind of like
Ropes,
almost like
like little
ropes
nooses.
around
Yeah.
the two boys. And this was the big reveal, finally saying, "You're the Scarlet Witch."
Yes.
Which, of course, for a lot of fans, should not come as like a surprise because she's always been Scarlet Witch. But they're kind of taking this, I think, as an opportunity to maybe make it bigger than it is, just in terms of,
But they never actually called her that in the
no.
movies. That's the
Well,
thing.
yeah,
This is the first time
that's
we've
what's
actually
neat.
uttered.
Yeah,
Yeah, and same thing with Pietro. He was never called Quicksilver.
yeah, it's not Quicksilver. We of course know that from X-Men comics.
Yeah.
That's what they are. So it's kind of neat that they're kind of, I don't really know much about the comics in terms of Scarlet Witch's ultimate powers, but they're really making it seem like she is the most powerful witch there ever has been, which I think could play into a potential villain role in the Doctor Strange sequel, or it could mean that she's a really good ally to have with Doctor Strange going into the multiverse.
Yes.
But we might have a new enemy in town. This could be really interesting. This little mini, mid-credit scene that they did.
Yes. Thank you always for those mid-credit scenes. Always
I
keeping
love that
us.
they started doing that. That was such a smart choice to bring that in. Obviously, people are expecting that. I fully expect the final episode to end after the credits with
Yeah.
a end credit scene
Me
to
too. We're hoping.
tease something. But we have now White Vision. Why do you have to be white? Well, that's what he looked like.
Well, to be fair, yeah, if you go a little backstory, I don't know if you know this, Chris. You might have researched it as well. But fun fact, Vision originally was intended to be all white, but because when they were doing the comics at the time, it didn't come out well with the coloring. So that's why they have the Vision that we know is like the green and the red in there, and then his look now. So the idea was, they're bringing White Vision back in, as later in the comics they did bring him here. And White Vision in the comics was similar to what happened to Vision in the movies, where he's killed and he's brought back, but he has all his memories and stuff, but he has no emotion. He's void of emotion, anything like that. So he almost like kind of soulless. So and as you see there is, as he's activated or whatever at that end, he's like looking at his body. So, that's Vision, who doesn't know or care who he was. And then we've got Vision, who was constructed by Wanda, where all he knows is from that point on. So he has no memory of his life. So it's going to be, are they going to have a little duke it out, which you've seen in the trailer? They kind of say, this is our home, we have to defend it. So it's going to be interesting to see maybe Vision on Vision fight.
I would really love if White Vision is Ultron. I think it could be. Like if White Vision starts talking and it's James Spader, everyone's gonna go nuts. Everyone's gonna lose their mind, which is a high possibility because, again, Vision was made from equal parts of Ultron and Jarvis, and then with the Mind Stone, all kind of combined into one little basket of fun. So who knows where this is? This is the thing. The biggest question for me is still about Pietro and where his role is in this, because if it's just an actor, then I'm like, okay, I guess maybe Agatha can control someone to do the Quicksilver powers, but he literally was doing things. And then also the fact that the kids, like one of the kids also got the Quicksilver powers. So there's got to be something with the family lineage there. But where's this going to end? Is this going to end with the Hex being destroyed? Her having to finally give up Vision and move on? Is Agatha going to do something dark, or is there still some other villain that we've not seen? I still have this really weird feeling about Hayes. There's something about him that's been seating in the background, and in a way, when he told Wanda, "I can't let you take Vision, this $3 billion, weapon essentially we have, it almost kind of felt in a way like he was poking at her to go create this thing. Like I think in a way maybe he knew that was in her.
Yeah.
And also just Agatha's lair kind of had these, there was some relics in there that looked a little more devilish than witch-like.
Oh.
So, yes, detective, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited to see the finale. I hope it's an hour long. I hope we get some great mid and end credit scene. And I hope we get some bigger cameos of maybe some other MCU alumni, because I feel like that is kind of needed to set up some of the upcoming movies we're going to get from Phase 4.
Well, we do know, as Kevin Feige said, that it's going to definitely impact and go into the Doctor Strange sequel. But is that mean next season or what? Who knows? But we want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about this episode? Because, again, there's a lot to unpack, and boy, do we unpack a lot. But yeah, Chris, just like you, I'm ecstatic. I'm excited. I don't know where it's going to go, but I know it's going to leave us excited, but also wanting more. I just feel like there's so much. They're not going to get to it all, but it's going to get us really pumped for what's to come for the MCU.
And in just a few weeks' time, after WandaVision does end, we'll be right back here with more Marvel with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So Marvel's going to be here for a while, which is
they're going to keep
very
us
exciting
too. Yeah,
because we went all of 2020 without any Marvel products, so we're so happy to be getting all this kind of content and plenty of movies along the way as well. So let us know your thoughts down here in the comments, and also the Potential Podcast is back this week with full episodes, starting our second season on there, wherever podcasts are found. So stay tuned, folks. We got the big finale of WandaVision next week.